There are 3 stones missing out of the diadem. It looks rather unspectacular, but it seems to be important for my father. I should find out why. There's a number on this note, LA60AK19AL. Under that, there's a description of the diadem that was probably robbed from an Oriental princess about 200 years ago. Originally, the 3 largest gemstones in the world had been incorporated into this diadem. On the left, an emerald, on the right, a ruby, and in the middle, an amethyst. My father wrote something on the back. The diadem will illuminate the real princess, and she will realize that money is not the greatest treasure. Looks kind of threatening. That red eye on the totem seems to be following me everywhere I go. I don't even believe in magic and all that stuff, but I find it creepy anyway. So the spoke has now broken off, but that eye now can no longer look at me in that evil way. I can only hope that Max doesn't notice. On the outside, it seems totally normal, but on the inside, it's ice cold. Let's see what we find here. The label is illegible, but judging from the skull and the other symbols, it must be extremely corrosive. I'll carefully pour the acid over the stone. The acid is doing its work admirably. The stone is beginning to corrode. I'll have to take it out of the acid at the right moment, otherwise the inclusion will go the same way as the rest of the stone. I've laid both lenses over each other. They now have a green shimmer. That thing doesn't fit in there properly. It keeps falling out. The radiator is lukewarm. A picture of my parents' wedding. I think Dad still hasn't gotten over her death. No, I'm not gonna take this "your father has to be dead before we'll look for him" crap again. You can use the valve as needed to release the air from the radiator. Oops! Maybe I shouldn't have opened the valve that far. A load of water has come out. The putty is ready for use. I hope I know what I'm doing. That diadem has now been robbed of any beauty it once had. I hope that thing is in the right position. As soon as the putty has dried, I'll only be able to get it off with brute force. Great! It fits! Yes, that should hold. No, I'm not gonna... Whether I'll get any brighter? Wow, it works! Somebody seems to have marked one of the rooms with invisible ink, and it has just been revealed by the colored light beam. I have no idea where this room 8 is located exactly because there's no map key, although it seems to be one of the rooms that are being renovated.
Wow, not bad. I only go away for a few minutes and you transform the museum into a light show.
Oh, I'm sorry, but...
That's okay. But what is all this stuff and what does it mean?
I don't exactly know either. But if this riddle really comes from my father, then he must have had an extremely good reason for the whole effort.
Have you found anything out yet?
I'm still working on it. And you? The light beam has changed the color of the escape plan on the wall. A room with the number 8 seems to be highlighted. Is that one of the rooms that is currently being renovated?
Yes, and they've been renovating it for ages. The complete substance of this house is unfortunately no longer the best, and the workers are having a lot of problems completing the job.
Was there anything special in that room?
Well, no, not really. All of the exhibits from that room are currently stored in my office. Are you looking for something specific?
If only I knew.
We can go straight to my office. Maybe you'll find something there to help you out.
Is there anything new on the subject of Tunguska?
Not a lot. Here, I found these 2 articles. Come on into my office and we'll have a look at the exhibits from room 8. Have a look around. All these things are out of the room that's being renovated.
I think that must be some sort of calendar, but how to read it is what I don't know. A rider? I always thought the Aztecs didn't have horses. Stranger and stranger. That thing has obviously just been set in there. It doesn't belong to the relief disc. The note says, "And the prince said to the princess, whether vertical, horizontal, or in both main diagonals, make sure that there is never a repeat within a line." Does that have something to do with the coins? The coin seems to complete the set. Oops! That opened up a trap door. It appears to be some kind of secret compartment. What could my father need one for? It contains documents. It has to do with my father's research expeditions. It's written here that in 1958, he was the leader of a secret expedition into the Tunguska region. Apparently, after the 1958 expedition, someone in the highest position tried to keep the results secret. It has to do with some strange plant growth. Daddy wanted to continue his research, but all further investigations were prohibited. Then apparently, he did travel to the region again himself, only in the company of a certain Manuel Perez and a local guide. That was in 1977. If I understand this correctly, a lot went wrong on this expedition. Something awful happened to Perez, and both of them were arrested. My father has not been able to find out what exactly happened to him that night, and Perez disappeared without a trace from that time forward. Daddy writes later that here at the latest, he should have realized that human life is always more important than research. What does he mean? Maybe I should ask Max. He'd be able to help me with all the formulae and explain the scientific expressions. And this is a letter from some society in Ireland. But these are just empty pages? I definitely need help. Maybe Max knows something about it all.
Sorry, I still don't have anything.
But how that is connected with my father's disappearance, I don't yet know. But I have found some of his records in a secret compartment. They describe a secret expedition and some very strange events and...
Hey, slow down. I can't follow you that quickly.
The best thing to do would be to come with me to my father's office. I'll show you the records, and then we should perhaps have a look at his filing cabinet.
Okay, let's go.
I told you that I didn't want to see you here again. Believe me, it really would have been better if you had kept out of it. Now I have no other choice but to... Ah!
Oleg Kambersky?
Looks like I came just in time. Are you okay?
Yes, I think so. What did the detective want from us anyway?
Did he want to shoot us?
Well, he probably doesn't have his weapon trained on you just for the fun of it. We should get away from here before this guy wakes up. I'm sorry that I was so unfriendly when we first met. For some time now, I've had the feeling that I'm being pursued, and my nerves are shot right now. Of course I know your father. To be precise, I have known him for a very long time, and I know him very well. I was with him on one of his expeditions back then. We were in the Tunguska region back then, together with the Cuban Manuel Perez, an Irish biologist whose name I can't recall at the moment, and some assistants. I don't want to get into details regarding the events of the past, but for some reason, someone appears to be very interested right now. I have the feeling that not only your father, but I as well am in danger, and possibly all members of that past expedition still living. Of course, I can't prove it, but if I'm not mistaken, the Russian Secret Service, FSB, could be behind it. They already tried back then to prevent us, and your father in particular, from undertaking further expeditions. You know about your mother?
My mother? Why? What does she have to do with anything?
You know that she died in an accident?
Yes, but...
It is rather questionable whether it really was an accident. You were in the car as well. I was driving behind you when the car suddenly crashed through a bridge railing and plunged into a river. I was barely able to get you out of there. But when I tried to save your mother, 2 of my fingers were torn off. Therefore,
Daddy never told me anything about that.
I'm certain he tried not to burden you with that as well. The 2 of us have already reproached ourselves enough. But enough about the past. Now we have to find your father again. Due to the events of the last few days, I activated a few of my contacts. One of them is Sergei, who is moving in circles which, well, I'd rather not be found anywhere near them. But he knows just about everything that no one is actually supposed to know. According to his information, a research station was built in the Tunguska region decades ago, and now another transport is planned to go there. Supposedly, not all the scientists who are to be transported there are participating voluntarily. This research trip and the disappearance of your dad a few days before its start could very well be linked.
Does that mean my father was kidnapped and is now sitting on a train to Siberia? What do they want from him?
Even if, officially, he hasn't been active in research for years, he is still an expert in his field. I am sure that Sergei could help us.
I have to go to Moscow?
I have an airplane. We could be there in a few hours. I know this is all quite a lot to swallow at once, but if your dad is really on that train, we have no time to lose. As soon as he reaches the Tunguska region, we'll barely be able to get him out again. The area around the station is too heavily guarded.
What do you mean?
I don't know, but maybe it is the only chance. So let's go.
It would be good if someone stayed behind, in case Vladimir does get in touch after all.
But...
Nina, we should go if we want another chance to get there before the train leaves.
I suppose I could have another look at your father's records, but I don't have a good feeling.
Great. Then let's go.
Take good care of yourself, okay?
I'll do my very best. I wish I could.
Yes, me too. Good luck.
Oleg didn't tell me you was such a beauty. If I had known that, my price would have gone down.
Yes, I'm happy to see you too. You can help me in the search for my father?
Sergei can do a lot of things. Some say Sergei can do everything. But Sergei is martyr, so let's just stick with Sergei can do almost everything.
Yes. Modesty honors you.
What can I do for you?
I thought you knew that.
Sure, but Sergei needs all the information again firsthand. And looking at your mouth and your moving lips.
Are you going to help me or just gawk?
How does the saying go? One hand washes the other.
Okay. So, my father has disappeared. I only wanted to meet him in the museum where he worked. And as I arrived...
Yeah. Sergei knows that.
Then what do you want to know?
What did your father do in the last few weeks? What was he working on? Who was he working for?
Quite honestly, I have no idea. I have never really spoken to my father to any extent about his work. He tends to hold hour-long lectures about scientific things, and after a few minutes, I tend to fall half asleep. Then at some time, we agreed to leave the subject of work out of our conversations.
Not good. Really not good.
Yes, I know, but it doesn't matter now anyway. But again, I really don't know what it was or for who he has been working for recently. Besides his work for the museum, he still held lectures and prepared reports, but I can't be any more exact than that. All I know is that in the last few days, he seemed a bit unconcentrated, as if he was especially concerned with something. But what that was?
That gets us nowhere. A couple of birdies told me in the last few days that another train is leaving for the Tunguska region today. It has to do with some kind of scientific experiments, What kind exactly, I don't know. But it's not important now. In any case, a few old friends have been reactivated.
Old friends? Reactivated?
Scientists and people who know the area who were in the Tunguska region in the past, they were, well, asked to cooperate. Some came voluntarily. Others had to be persuaded.
Ah, I understand.
Good. Be that as it may, your father may be with them.
Is he in danger?
If he doesn't do anything stupid, he won't have any problems normally.
But how are we going to get him out?
We aren't going to get him out at all. But as I've already said, Sergei can do almost everything. An old acquaintance is standing at the side entrance of the train station. He'll take you in and give you a pass and a uniform. As soon as you're on board the train, you should be able to find enough time to look around. The guards on board are usually busy drinking and playing cards during the trip. Oh, and by the way, you're traveling under the name Nina Perkova. Your last name could give you away if your father is actually on board.
So I get in the train, eliminate all the guards, and free my father. Alone? Great plan. Just great.
When you find him, then we'll see how you'll get your father out. Not to worry. Sergei would never leave such a sweet ass hanging.
Okay, that's a relief then. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit nervous about my father. I really am happy that you could help me. Thank you.
That's okay, little one. They don't call Sergei the good soul of Moscow for nothing. And don't forget, even if you get information that you don't know what to do with, Sergei can certainly figure it out.
Okay, I'll see what I can find out.
Nice weather we're having, isn't it?
Yeah. It's much too nice to sit around out here. Comrade Yushin is taking your shift now. Isn't that nice of him?
What?
Why?
Come with me. Let's chat a bit.
It doesn't seem to be my lucky day today. Was that a coincidence, or did they find out that Sergei bribed one of the guards? In any case, I now have a huge problem. Sergei has gone. My cell phone has no signal here, and I have to get onto the train fast. Nina, it's time for a stroke of genius. I need an idea. Hello. So late and you're still working?
Yeah, real funny, huh? You probably think it's hilarious that a poor guy like me has to work so late, and then has to muck around in other people's shit. Real funny, huh? Ha ha.
Wow, you're in a good mood. I wasn't having a laugh at your cost, honestly.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm a little irritable. Today's actually supposed to be my day off, and now I have to work overtime just because this bunch of soldiers doesn't know how to flush the toilet. You hopefully aren't one of them, are you?
No way, don't worry.
Good. When I catch the person who dumped this shit on my lap, he's going to be sick just thinking of the word toilet.
Yeah, look, could we change the subject, please? My graphic imagination is very well developed, and my stomach is remembering what it had for lunch. So the soldiers have screwed up your day off. Did they just turn up all of a sudden?
No, it wasn't that sudden. There've been rumors going around for a few days, but I had no idea there would be this many. I have no idea what they're all doing here.
Hey, you don't mean to tell me that the soldiers are swarming all over this quarter, and you have no idea why they're here?
Well, there are always a few soldiers running around here. After all, it's a military train station. but I haven't seen this many in a long time. I've heard they're heading to Novosibirsk.
And what do they want there?
I have no idea. They don't talk to us. Think they're just better than us. Most of them don't have an original idea in their head anyway. They merely follow their orders. Someone told me there are also scientists with them. And a little while ago I saw large cages. I have no idea what they're planning.
Cages?
Yes. Apparently there are some prisoners on the train. Maybe that's why.
Cages for prisoners? Are they keeping my father like a wild animal? I urgently have to get on that train and get him out. That car over there, is that yours?
No, I think that's been there for a few years now. I don't even know if there are any parts still in it.
Having to work on your day off is, of course, really bitter. That would piss me off, too. Excuse me, a slip of the tongue. Did you already have some plans? Cinema, a few bars, or anything?
Yeah, I wanted to go fishing. Couple of beers, rod in hand.
Yeah, I had a boyfriend like that once.
Huh?
Nothing. Tell me more.
Well, just a really relaxing day. But maybe I can do it tomorrow instead. If only they finally picked the right lottery numbers.
The lottery. What is so special about that?
They hold a special drawing in which you can really clean up. You know, I've been playing the lottery for 20 years and never won anything. But today is my lucky day. I could tell when I woke up. All this shit is gonna end today. I'm gonna buy myself a little cabin on a nice river somewhere. Maybe I'll even buy the river too. And then...
Yeah, and then spend the whole day with your rod in the water, I know.
Exactly. The stupid thing is, you have to have every number in exactly the right order. If the first 3 numbers match, you can win something too. But to really clean up, all the numbers must be correct.
That means, in the worst scenario, if you have one wrong number, you can lose completely.
Yep, but I'm gonna win. 856549. I'm gonna have a new life with these numbers.
I'd better get going then.
Me too.